Mm. Hey guys, this is Mr. Gov Harry. Today we're joined by someone, if you watch my stuff, you may recognize her. Shaylar, how are you?
So good. How are you, Harry?
Yeah, Shaylar. It wasn't that long ago that I interviewed you, and I think you reached out to be interviewed again. And I love your stuff, man. I always do. I've even put one of your amazing poems, like a small piece of you, into one of my books, just to honor you a little bit. And yeah, you've been busy since we last spoke. I think you've been doing some interesting stuff and traveling. So yeah, talk to us a little bit.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of stuff. Well, I am naturally just drawn to travel and adventure, and I have this deep desire to explore and to learn as much as I can learn. And I find that I learn most when I am traveling, when I am moving. So recently, I took a trip down to the Dominican Republic, and I thought, my conscious self thought I was going to be moving there. I'm relocating, I'm finally out of the States. But then life situations happened and I came back to the States. So the past 2-3 weeks, I've just been in contemplation, reflecting over my trip and my journey. And yeah, just kind of integrating all the pieces and figuring out what I want to do moving forward. And travel for sure. I can't even, I don't really have words to describe that feeling of just wanting to go and see the world and, interact with different cultures. And yeah, so I have been, just
Quickly, Shayla, how
yeah.
again, for people who don't know you, how old are you now?
I am 23.
Okay, 23 years young. So you have you're amazing, man. Like, you're young, 23, I'm 33. So 23 is really young, but you've got your own business. You're very driven. You've got your divine masculine going on. You've got divine feminine. You do a lot of cool things, man. I've got to say that. I give props to you, because there's not many people out there that I know, women, that are really on it. So that's mad props to you. And yeah, I agree with you, by the way. Traveling is just, God, everyone needs to travel more. And you did it during COVID too, I might add. Like,
I did. I was not very stationary in COVID, actually. When it started, I was in southern New Mexico, and then I went up to northern New Mexico, Colorado, Nebraska. It really didn't stop me. In fact, it encouraged me to want to continue. I was like, we need human interaction now more so than ever. Obviously, being in the confines of social distancing, but I kind of saw it as a challenge. And when I am confronted with a challenge, I like to pursue that challenge. Same thing with fear. I've been this way my whole life. If I feel that I'm fearful of something, it's like, I don't want to let that stop me. I need to look at that in the face and figure out how to overcome that fear. And yeah, that really is the divine masculine that we all have within us. But from an astrological,
it's really sexy too. Gotta say, it is for guys, for high vibe guys. It really fucking is. I've come to realize that, for real. Like, when a woman's not attached, has developed the divine masculine, because they're both, but especially divine masculine. Do you know what I mean? That's really cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I mean, it feels great. I love it. And yeah, it's always interesting, because when I feel like I want to be in a relationship, or I need something outside of myself, like divine masculine, or I'm like, oh, a man, it's actually like, I need to come back into myself and find that within myself. So that's just something that I've learned in my journey. Like, whenever I'm looking for something externally, it's always within. And that's very interesting when you relate that to travel. Yeah, like, what you're looking for is within, but I feel this strong desire to go and explore without, maybe because I've done a lot of journeying within. So I want to see how that manifests in physical reality. So that's something I work with a lot on a daily basis.
So the idea of like journey within, like meditation, all the practices that we do, we can talk about in a bit. Psychedelics, these are all inward journeys, but then there's also a way that we can do, I actually love this, like we can influence our world from the outer too, by taking action in the outer, whether that be manifesting a business, facing your fears, whatever that is. And one huge one is traveling, because that really is an outer thing that you can do. You can physically change your location, which change your patterns of thought, and it gives you that whole new mindset and vibe, and it puts you present in the moment too. I fucking love traveling, man. I don't think I'll ever get bored of it. I think it's really important, and it helps with stagnation, and we all stagnate a bit. Do you feel that, Shayla, like a little bit? We all get stuck in a rut sometimes, even me and you sometimes.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I find if I stay in one place too long, I will just naturally start to stagnate, like get into a routine. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this in his book, Becoming Supernatural, how we need to, yeah. Have you read it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah. but yeah, we have to change the outer environment when we feel like we're getting in a rut. But like the body likes routine, the body likes homeostasis. So naturally, we're going to fall into these rhythms and we're just going to keep doing the same things. And sometimes we let thought patterns come in that actually aren't in our highest good and are creating that stagnation or turning off some of our genes or our DNA. And so in order to get ourselves out of that rut, we literally need to shift our environment. So I always recommend travel to people as well. Like, even if it's just like getting in the car and driving for like an hour somewhere, you know, that and you're in the same state, you know, or going and visiting friends, like whatever, just like doing something to really shift the daily routine is really, really beneficial for this path of evolution. You never know, like spirit works in mysterious ways, like what kind of a message will come through or who you'll meet as you're doing these little things.
So true. I found that the more action I take, the more people I connect with on social media, like yourself, and more high-five people I meet in real life and social media, the more little things pop up that are going to manifest to push me towards the direction I need to go with my growth, my business, my health, and all the little things I do. So I completely agree with that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Just surrender to the flow. And it's like having a goal, like knowing what it is you want, or just kind of like a trajectory of where you're heading, and then allowing the universe to really like take you there. Surrendering the how, knowing the what, but surrendering the how. That's how
I love it. So tell us a little bit about Dominican Republic, because I saw pictures of you doing it on the beach, the yoga. And I know you're big into yoga, and I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about yoga, because I mean, there's things that you can do that are free, like yoga, that are so amazing. And I know you're a lot better than me at it. And you're a yoga coach. Are you a yoga teacher? Qualified?
Yoga teacher. Yeah, I incorporate yoga and meditation into my coaching sessions with clients. So
nice. I love it. And I'm never like, today, for example, I hadn't done it in a while. I know that's my bad, but in honor of you, before this interview, I thought I'll do it. And I felt good after, but I didn't realize how good I felt, because I went out to grounds, and as soon as I grounded, I recognized, I'm from the dot one of my grounding session, I feel more balanced in my brain, because my big thing is I'm imbalanced in this brain, and I know everyone is, but I've really got a severe imbalance. It's hard to describe. You need to be inside my head. So I'm very sensitive, and I'm also got great body feel. So I was like, as soon as I grounded, I was like, whoa, what's wrong with my state? I'm feeling much better than normal. What's up my state day? And then I went like, oh yeah, it's the yoga I did this morning that rebalanced my brain, basically recalibrates my body back to center. It's fucking amazing yoga, man. It really is.
It really is. It's incredible. It's like the love of my life. I can take it anywhere. I don't need anything. It's like, it's part of me. And yeah, I like to get creative with it as well, and just like see what I can do, you know. You get to that point in your practice where you've got like that foundation, and now you can get creative. I mean, you can always be creative, but it's nice to have like a solid foundation first to then move up from there. But the Dominicans. So I fell in love with the ocean all over again. And I have been obsessed with the ocean since I was like as young as I can remember.
High five for the ocean, man.
I don't have words. It's so incredibly magical. And so I found myself just gravitating towards the beach every single day. So I'd wake up, I'd do my yoga, and then I'd go to the beach, and I would just walk and walk and walk. And one day I walked like 15 miles, and I thought I walked maybe like 7 max. I was just like in this trance zone, and I felt like every time I'd go to the beach, it was just me. Like I was on this like solo journey. I did go to meet somebody, but divine intervention happened and plans changed. And I was like, I'm going to really take this as an opportunity to deepen my own connection to myself, to the earth, my meditation practice. So I was doing a lot of inward journeying while I was traveling. And I was actually reading Becoming Supernatural and practicing doctors' meditation practices on the airplane, just like tapping into these.
So full on geek mode, as you are. Full on geek
mode.
Everyone else is watching movies and you're reading Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza on the plane.
Literally. And people are just looking at me like, what's she reading? Like, what is she doing? I'm like, yeah. But anyways, I felt like when I would go to the beach, I felt like I was going to meet a friend I hadn't seen in a while. I felt this, it's like connecting to God, connecting to source energy. And
I get that every time I do yoga, even in my room. I mean, I get that moment, that taste of divinity. It doesn't last long, but then nor does psychedelics, right? I don't think it's meant to last long because it's boring. I just get a taste every time I do yoga of divinity. And then of course at the ocean, because you do yoga at the ocean. Wow, I can't think of anything more transformational. You're not just doing breath work or standing there at the ocean. You're doing yoga. I've never done it, Shayla. I want to do it. I'm going to experience it one day.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
At sunset or sunrise, even better.
Yes, yes. And things like sun gazing just came naturally. I mean, I do it when I can, but when I'm in Nebraska, you know, it's like I haven't seen sun for 2 days here. It's just been overcast. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's kind of, I know, right? But yeah, I just like really awakened me to the benefit of living so close to the earth. And I was also like, wow, like, okay, the human body is like what, 70-75% water. And I'm by this big body of water, the ocean, the life force, you know, of the planet. And I just felt like some resonance, like healing just happened. These old layers, like false programmings that I was holding on to, just left, and I didn't
Yeah.
have to do anything. I was just, you know, I'm walking on the beach, and it was like being on psychedelics, honestly. And I'd have my headphones in, I'm just in my own zone, just
Nice.
loving life, and
Yeah.
you know, like dancing and singing, and people are looking at me, and I'm like just so excited to be alive.
Mm.
Yeah, so it just really like sparks my love for life again. And honestly, I'm kind of in this place right now of trying to figure out like
Mm.
what we can actually do to protect our waters.
Mm.
And some
Yeah.
things really became evident to me that like the
Mhm.
farming practices that we're doing here in the middle of the United States, specifically Nebraska, where I am born and raised, is
Mm.
affecting the
Mm.
ocean. We have a dead zone at the base of the Mississippi River, where the Mississippi River comes into the Gulf of Mexico. Nothing is alive. The coral reefs are now dead, you know,
Mm.
and it's because of the chemicals that we're putting in the soil. It's because of the
Mm.
agricultural practices, all of the cows, and the off gases that they're giving off. And yeah, so I guess I'm in a place of wanting to shed more awareness that, you know, what we do in one area of the
Yeah.
world or the country, you
Thanks the
know,
others.
has a ripple. So
Yeah.
to shift that, you know, it's like, wow, if I sit here and I meditate and I focus on just being the observer, you know,
Mhm.
taking the energy off of reacting or these lower vibratory emotions, and
Mm.
I'm just allowing myself to be all like, what kind of effect is that going to have in another area of the world? Or could I affect another human being right now by allowing myself to just be? And so yeah, it was very inspiring, and just took me to new depths, so to say, in the work that I do with astrology and tarot and with my clients, and yoga as well.
Mm.
Yeah, everything is just kind of like coming full circle, and I feel really grateful to have that experience.
I like that.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and also I'm very much so anticipating my return to the ocean. I don't know
Yeah.
what that looks like or when that's going to be. That's just like in the flow.
That will come. Can I ask before we talk about astrology and stuff? Like, so
Yeah.
what ideas did you come up with to prevent damage? Because I think of that a lot, and I think a lot of us in the community watching this are gonna think of that too. Because the oceans are like, in a way, because we know that fish have got loads of mercury, lead, and heavy metals because of all the crap we're dumping in the ocean. I mean, there's microbeads in plastics. I mean, we're just plastic city. I mean, yeah. Did you come up with solutions, or do you just think that we just focus on our own shit outside of that, and like our own health vibration, or can we do things for the ocean? Because yeah, we should really think about that more, man. I'm really concerned actually too. I know it's a big thing, and I also believe it regenerates itself, the ocean, so it can.
Yes.
But I think there's going to be a point where our poison is going to overtake the fact that it can regenerate itself because we're just poisoning it so much. So yeah, any solutions?
Uh, it's big.
Big, innit? Gone big.
But I mean, yeah, we start small. And I
Mhm.
think that the first thing is, you know, doing our part in eliminating our use of plastic, you know, becoming as zero waste as possible,
Mm.
just becoming more mindful of our spending habits and practices. And then obviously like the production of fish, the killing that is happening to the fish on mass scales, you know, it's sickening. It's happening
Yeah.
to all animals, and it hurts. Like if you're an empath, you can feel it, and it
Mm.
doesn't feel good. And
Mm.
yeah, so just becoming more mindful and not supporting like companies that are killing tuna, you know, by the millions and packaging this as well. So those are little things that we can do, is quit eating the fish and become, you know, more mindful of our spending practices. And
Mm.
um, beyond that, it's like I don't know. My mind is like, do we try to take legal action? Because this really should be illegal for people to be polluting the ocean as they are.
Yeah.
We will not survive if we keep doing this. And I truly believe that the ocean will regenerate as well. But we need to put an end to the toxic waste entering into our water, you know, and it's not just happening in the ocean, it's happening in all of the water, you know, the freshwater streams.
True.
There's a lot of controversy right now with fracking going on in Taos, New Mexico. So it's happening all over the world. And I think that
does fracking poison the ocean too? I don't know about that. Like, does it poison the water?
Well, okay, so if we do anything mainland, like to the water, if we have any chemical pollution in the water mainland, that water is going to eventually end up in the ocean. You know, the rivers flow into the ocean.
Right.
Not all the rivers, but and that's where the biggest dead zone right now is in the Gulf of Mexico at the base of the Mississippi River. So yeah, it's what we do mainland is affecting the oceans, and it's crazy. A lot of people don't know. Like, I've been talking to people as I've been back in Nebraska about what I saw. And, you know, this kind of ties into the importance of travel. Is like, a lot of us have been conditioned to believe like that there's nothing else going on besides what's going on in our little box, in our phones, in our house, in our cars, work, school, whatever the case may be. And
or the news,
or the news, the TV, the media. Yeah. But there's a whole world out there and so many different cultures and people living in different ways. So I want to take this further, this conversation. So like with other people as well, if you have any feedback, like, cause this is a thing, like we need to do something about it. And I believe that we can, I really do, but we need to do something.
I agree. And I'm so down for that. I think we should create a Facebook group and really start talking about it more. I mean, these ideas have been bandied around, but I'm just like you. One thing I was thinking too with the COVID, you know, I'm not going to defend what's going on, say whether it's real or not, or give my opinions. But at the same time, one thing that I've noticed definitely we can prove is since they stopped the plane in the sky, like loads because of COVID. Well, I noticed from last year, I think it's 1 year ago, by the way, since the lockdown in the UK got extreme. I think around the world it started getting big about a year ago. Anyway, we noticed I noticed the sky started purifying. So now sun gazing was more fun. There was less clouds in the sky, and the sky looked really blue because of the COVID, and there was just less planes. Because I don't know if you know, Shaylar, but at any one time, the city in the sky, people flying, is like the third biggest. So there was a lot less pollution going on due to the COVID, and a lot less planes, and that was good for emissions, I feel, and for health and for everyone. So that's one example of a situation being forced upon us which cleaned up the sky, but now we need to clean up the ocean too. It's not just the sky, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I believe that everything serves a greater purpose. There's a force larger than us, you know, at work here. But as human beings, we do have free will here in this realm and in this dimension. And we are co-creating. And some of us choose to use our co-creative energies to create destruction. And some of us are beings of light and wish to see light and love and beautiful things. See the earth and its inhabitants, you know, vibrating at the highest level, the highest frequency possible. And that's what I feel you and I are on this mission to do here, and many people who are going to be viewing this. So
Pow.
Yeah, here we go. Doing it.
We're doing it, man. Yeah, like, so when you talk about co-creating, so you have your own business. Talk a little bit about what you do with your YouTube channel and your clients. I'd love to know more about that.
Cool. Yeah, so this is my baby. It brings me so much joy. It's been a journey, that's for sure. I first got the idea to launch Lionessence 3 or 4 years ago. Like, I just started to receive visions. You know, I knew I wanted to work with people. I knew I loved the stars, tarot, yoga, but at the time I had absolutely no clue how I was going to bring all of these pieces together. Like, 4 years ago, yoga and astrology were two different modalities. And I'm like, how do you even combine the two together? But, you know, as I continued to walk this path slowly, like all of these things that I was interested in kind of, again, came full circle. And I started to see where they unify and intersect. So yeah, 2 years ago, it became official. I launched Lionessence on YouTube, and I just
21 years old, not bad.
Yeah. I started reading tarot for the collective, and for me, it was like I was really just trying to get in my hours, so to say, get in my practice. Like, you know, they say it takes 10,000 hours or whatever, 10,000 tries to really become a master at something. And so, yeah, that was kind of the goal. Like, just start doing it. I knew that this had helped me. Reading tarot is like a way to become aware of the energy that's around us, the energy that's surrounding us, or the energy of a situation. So as I started reading for the collective, it just like inspired me. I'm like, okay, people are resonating with this, where people are also taking initiative in their own life. They're starting a business, they're healing, like what? Okay. And that was honestly just motivation for me to continue forth, was to see like other people then step up into their power. And so, like the inspiration was mutual. So then it started to evolve into astrology as well. And at first I was just studying Western astrology, which is 12 house astrology, 30-degree sign or houses. And I came across, I think it was Mastering the Zodiac on YouTube, this true sidereal astrologer. And he was claiming that there are actually 13 constellations, and that Western astrology was not accurate. So I started to do my research, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's actually right. There is a 13th constellation. The sun's ecliptic moves through a 13th constellation that Western astrologers are not talking about. And another thing, when we're looking at the stars from an astronomical perspective, all of the houses, the constellations, they're not the same size. 30 degrees does not encompass all of the constellations. Virgo, for example, is 45 degrees in length. Scorpio, for example, is about 11 degrees in length. So the way that Western astrologers are perceiving the movements of the planetary bodies doesn't really have any astronomical backing. So for me, I was like, oh, well, then I need to switch. Like this 13 sign astrology, I call it astronomical astrology now. It just made sense for me. And so I think it was the beginning of last year, I actually made the shift. And it was big because I already had, a bit of a following on YouTube. I was already working with clientele. I'm like, this is huge. Am I really going to shift all of this? I've already made it public. But there was just something in my gut telling me that it's what I needed to do. And so I did it. And so now I actually give astronomical astrology birth chart readings as well to my clients. And the tarot and the astrology, that's really where we'll start. I think it's really important to figure out or just to become more aware of who we are as individuals and how the energies of the stars and the planets are affecting us in our everyday life. Then from that place, we can really take the reins of our life and say, okay, I know how this stuff is affecting me. What do I want to do? What direction do I want to go? What do I feel my calling is? What do I like to do? And so that's where we get to have fun. And basically I get to be a guide and in a soundboard for ideas, and just like be that one to say, hey, you said this, you said that, maybe you should go in this direction. Just kind of like bring the puzzle pieces together and be almost that motivating force to get people to move forward. But ultimately it's my clients doing the work, it's my friends, family, it's everybody else doing the work. I just get to, be living my best life, enjoying what I'm doing, shining my light, inspiring, and encouraging others to move forward in whatever way they feel. It's really, it's
you also did one for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You did a very long one on mine. Just sent privately to me. We didn't make it public because we don't want to embarrass me on my fortune and what I'm going to be like. But actually, I resonated with a lot of it. It was really intriguing because I told you the date, the time, the month, and the place, and I do believe that has the biggest impact. I do also believe, and I think you'll resonate, that there's a certain subset of like destiny that you're here to fulfill, but you can manifest and co-create. So don't get stuck on that stuff, but definitely do focus, because it does tell you your strengths, your weaknesses, and where you could work harder at. And everything you were saying resonated. It's like a mind reader, like Mystic Meg on me. I was like, damn it. She knows my secrets now. She knows me.
It's like, I don't remember a lot of it. Like I'd have to literally look back through. So like you're safe, but and you're so right. And I found along my journey that there were times where I was stuck on what the card said or what my astrology was. Like, I can't do this because the card said that. But in actuality, it's my mind that's saying I can't do that because the card said that. The card is just like, it's a tool. It's like a mile marker, so to say, to kind of show me where I'm at. And then I get to decide, because I am in charge of my reality, where I want to go. So yeah, exactly. You're so spot on. Yeah, it's good not to get caught up on it. And so I like to always just kind of like introduce it to people at the beginning of like coaching sessions. Like if I was to work with somebody for a month, 6 months, we'd spend like the first couple of weeks diving into the astrology chart. Well, how does this energy resonate with you? Do you feel like there's a block in your life? Can we clear this? And then we start to play. and start to.
I like that. So you do with your clients, you do the astrology readings, and once they know their strengths and weaknesses, how do you work with them after you've read them, their personalities and their shifts? Do you make them do yoga? What do you tell them as like programs to do? Do you tell them to face their fears, to overcome these challenges? How do you go about it, if you don't mind saying?
Yeah. So one of the first things we'll do is just like we're going to address the fears. I'm kind of like taking mental notes of like where I'm feeling blocks. We're going to address the fears. We're also going to address strengths. We're going to address goals, values, things that are of highest importance, especially if I'm working with somebody who doesn't quite know what they want to do, but knows they want to make a change. It's like, okay, well, let's go through and really like see what kind of programming you have playing in your mind. And then from that place, we usually end the session meditating or doing yoga, something where we're shifting the energy.
And is it online only, by the way, or is it in physical too? Is it online work?
It's both. It's both.
Cool.
In person when it can be. Like I said, I travel a lot, so if you can catch me where I'm at.
Catch you there next year when I come up.
Yeah. But I am 2022 definitely going to be huge focus on hosting retreats and actually having a place to bring people in to do this work in the physical as well. Because really excited.
That's good. Is that going to be your own program? Are you going to work with other people, or how's that going to sell? Like, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, I am really excited. It'll be my own program, but I will be bringing in a handful of amazing healers and yoga teachers, raw food chefs and such to assist in this facilitation, because it takes a lot. It's a lot of work to bring people in. And really, I want to create, or I'm creating a space, where people are just going to be fully immersed. Like there's just no other option but to like open up your heart and to really tap in and feel what it is you feel called to do in this lifetime. A space of healing for sure. But it's gonna take a few people.
You got this, Shaylar. You're a fucking powerful person. I know you're going to manifest everything you want. And it's been absolutely honor. So is there anything else I haven't asked you though that you'd like to talk about?
I think we covered a lot. Anything else?
I know you can talk forever. I know we both can. But just like when we're passionate about something, people don't get this. Totally. Like they think that, because I'm quite shy. But I can talk a long time. I think we can talk a long time when it comes to like things that we're passionate about.
Totally. And like I get nervous. Like I was a little nervous, I'm like, oh, I'm about to speak. I'm about to get interviewed.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of Felicity Health, Harry, Jesus, I understand. Yeah, come on. I think that's a good place to kind of wrap it up, though. I think that's good, because we could just keep talking. Definitely. Before you go, though, where can people find you? I know you're Lionessence on YouTube, so that's easy, right? But where's your other stuff? You got a website and.
Okay, cool. So one last thing is I just created a new Facebook group called Gamma. Right. And so it is a safe haven for spiritual seekers. It is a place where we are all uniting, coming from a place of an open heart. And a lot of us empaths, intuitive beings have been hurt in the past, like being too vulnerable almost, or not necessarily shielding ourselves from outside forces. We live in a pretty rocky external world. And so I felt really called recently to create a place where we can all come together and just share in our experiences, our otherworldly, psychedelic, multidimensional experiences, and support one another along the journey. So Gamma Facebook group, my name on Facebook is Shaylar Kumar, Lionessence on YouTube, and website is still in the works. So reach out to me.
And Instagram, I can't remember your Instagram. I know you're on there.
I have two Instagram at Lionessence _ 3 underscores. And then my personal page is at Shaylar Raku, RAKU.
Okay, that's cool, man. Yeah, so honestly, man, Shaylar, it's an honor to talk to you, have us with you today. I'm really inspired by your passion. I can't wait to meet you in real life. I can't wait to see how your retreat is. I'll be signing up for that retreat. In the future. So rock and roll, guys. Let's have Harry with Shaylar Kumar. Peace.